Hey, what's going on, guys? Luke here from Nerdy Geek Talk, the source of all your nerdy geeky needs. And joining me today, because I'm stuck with them, is Eric, also known as Aramis Prime. Hi, Eric.
Hi.
I should have did that when Count Dooku and Anakin and Obi-Wan were trapped together. I could have did something there. Crap. Okay.
You can
Anyways, we
say
gotta
what
talk.
episode number it is?
Yes, I did. I think
No,
I did this time.
no, you didn't.
This is episode 25.
I'm almost certain you didn't. I'll have to
Let's
listen
talk
to it again.
about.
I'm
I
pretty
talk
sure you
about.
did.
As Eric described to me, it's called Ryloth stuff.
Yeah, that's what we named the episode. That's why I named the episode because I
Uh,
wrote the description before we did it because this one wasn't super exciting, so I'm not anticipating a bunch of random stuff for a better title, but there's still
Tailheads.
some interesting stuff. Uh,
What's the evolutionary nature that Twi'leks got tails on their head? What adaptive capabilities did that suit?
that's a good question. Why do I don't know. I was trying to think of an evolutionary trait for humans, but why do people have beards?
To attract the mate and for warmth.
Okay.
I actually do know that.
But anyways, so we have 3 episodes. Episode 19, Storm over Ryloth. Episode 20, Innocence of Ryloth. And episode 21, Liberty on Ryloth. Not Liberty of Ryloth. The other 2 are of Ryloth. That one's on Ryloth. But
Oh.
yeah, so how about we just read off the quote and then recap the first episode real quick. So,
Da, da,
quote is,
da.
"It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness." Basically saying life sucks before it
Yeah.
gets good. That's basically what that quote is, which applies to Ahsoka's depression. So, basically, to recap this episode, Ahsoka is put in charge of her first mission. She disobeys orders, gets a bunch of people killed, and ultimately just fails
Oh,
anyways.
God.
Then Anakin comes with a plan to, actually destroy the fleet, and it involves Ahsoka, taking command of the squadron again and saving Anakin after he initiates the plan, and it works. And yeah, that's basically a really rough recap. They're
There were
really
so many things wrong with this plan.
with Anakin's plan or Ahsoka's plan?
Yes.
What was it? No, Anakin's plan's not that bad, but what was Ahsoka's plan?
Okay, thank you.
At the beginning, what was her
Thank
plan? What was she gonna do? I don't know if that's ever
Thank
really
you.
clarified. It's just like we
She's
have
gonna clear a path for him, boys.
clear a path. Even before more of the warships showed up, there were still giant ships there. What path
Okay.
are they gonna clear?
When I was watching this, I was going through like the comments on YouTube. My favorite one I saw was this like, why the hell do we have a 14-year-old commanding a bunch of 10-year-old soldiers?
How old is Ahsoka actually?
She's 14.
Is she 14 at the time of this?
She's 14. I think when then she's either 16 or 18.
She's definitely not 18. I would guess she's 16 right now. But huh.
Yeah, she's only 14, and they're like, "Yep, time to lead your squadron to go kill people."
Jeez. I mean, it's the Jedi way, right? But anyways, so to break this episode down, so what do I have first off? First thing I have is just sitting around question mark. Oh, that was
The
in response.
blockade?
No, that was in response to in the quick like highlight reel at the beginning where they explained what's going on. I was talking about the prisoners. I was like, why aren't they forcing the prisoners to work? But we get this episode. We get the answer to this episode. Answer to that question in the next episode. So that doesn't matter. Next thing I have is Wat Tambor. We get to see him. He's actually a pretty important member of the Separatist Alliance, and yeah, we get to see him in this episode. And do we ever find out actually how he gets freed? Because at the end of this arc, he gets captured, and he's in more of the Clone Wars and also Revenge of the Sith. So
He ate his way out.
I don't know if we ever get to see his escapes. That's interesting. Next thing. I like how at the beginning, Ahsoka's like, R7, we better make a good impression. I'm like, R7 did not make a good impression. They didn't do a good job. And then Anakin is pressuring her. He's like, yeah, this is your first mission. You should be nervous. She's like, I am nervous. Why is everyone making nervous? And he's like, oh, probably because everyone's lives are depending on you and they could all die. She's like, thanks. That's essentially how the exchange goes.
Yeah, and like you said, her plan is just to fly straight at an entire blockade of ships.
Yeah, I really don't know what her plan was, but and
I,
then
I,
what were you gonna say?
I feel like this ruined like what I was talking about last week. Like she had a lot of development last week with like Anakin and
Yes,
everything.
I
This
agree.
kind of ruined it.
If this would have come first, it would have been better. Because like she kind of learns a lesson at the end of this episode, and so then it would even made even more sense as to why she's more developed in the last episode we just watched. But in all fairness, ground combat is very, very different from space combat. So
Yeah.
I mean, there is that. So maybe this
What
is her learning them here, but
what
still
I what,
applying to like what she learns in response to like taking orders. I feel like she should have just understood because of what she's gone
what
through
really
already.
annoyed me was like when her first pilot dies, she's just like, "Oh, let's keep going." But then like when the second one dies, she's like devastated.
I don't know. I mean, in all fairness, like when you lose one versus you keep losing more. Although I think the one that she lost later was like he fell apart gradually, like his ship fell apart gradually.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
so. I
that's
think
true.
that was kind of more of it. It wasn't like oh he got shot down, died in an instant. It was like oh no, he was panicking and his ship slowly blew up and he died. It's like yeah, that's a
Yeah,
little more
but
upsetting, but
what I don't understand is like they were like pretty much blaming her that the attack failed because like she was reckless.
mhm.
They had 4 more ships coming in. Nothing you would have done would have stopped that.
Well, they were blaming her because she didn't leave. She got
Yeah.
ordered by Admiral Yularen and by Anakin to leave before she really lost many soldiers, and then she didn't because she thought she could take down 4 warships, and then she lost her men.
Yeah, you know who gets away with killing a lot of people? Jar Jar.
You're right, but
They treat her lesser than Jar Jar.
then I just find it interesting. Oh, also the Separatist. I don't know if we ever hear his name in this episode. They keep calling him Captain. I don't know what
I like
Captain
this
what.
dude.
But I remembered him actually. Uh, but yeah, then we also get the fact that they keep calling Ahsoka Sir, which is just a clone thing to do. They call everyone Sir, literally even females and stuff. I just find that odd sometimes. Like they call everyone Sir. But next thing is, oh jeez, why? Why did Ahsoka? I get like maybe being bold and ignoring Admiral Yularen, but when Anakin, the risk taker, is like, dude, you can't do this. This is like you're going to kill your men. Come back. She still ignored that order. Like, jeez, jeez.
I like that. Like she's freaking out, like how she got people killed and like she didn't want to do it again.
Uh huh.
You're an apprentice to a general in a war. What did you think was gonna happen?
I mean, but it's a lot more different whenever it's under your command that people die.
Like you're definitely getting people like people died of poison gas in front of her, like the week before,
That had
and
nothing to do with her orders, though.
she was like totally cool with that.
That had nothing to do with her orders. That's a no, no, no. I'm actually against you on this. That's totally different. When someone dies because of a decision you make, that is so much worse than just them dying in war next to you. It still sucks when they die in war next to you, but when it's your fault, you feel a lot worse about it.
Speaking of which, why is I'm gonna probably bring this up like later, but why does anyone want to be on Rex's squad? Because like every time Rex has his squad, they all die except him.
Wait, what
Like
are you
every
talking about? Rex is,
like every
Rex,
time they
Rex doesn't
like
have
every
a
time
squad
they
in
show.
this.
No, I'm just saying like I think later. But it was just something I was thinking about, like, cause like thinking like back to all the episodes we watched so far. Every time he's in a small group, everybody dies but him.
No, no. Usually there's like 2 or 3 that live, or at least
But
one.
like it's like half of them are dead.
No, okay. You
Why
you
would
want to
you
know
wanna
why I
be in
like
that
Clone Trooper Denal so much? Clone Trooper Denal is the one that almost always lives. Like usually everyone is with Rex and everyone dies, but Denal is usually the one clone that lives whenever he's there. Like Skytop Station where they all fought Grievous, where Ahsoka fought Grievous. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
With the Goldie or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denal lives. It's literally just Denal and Rex. That's why I like Denal. He's such an underrated clone trooper. Because you're right, everyone on Rex's squad always dies, except Denal. but no one remembers him. And I'm like, what the heck? He's so cool. He survives everything.
That's why he doesn't die. Like, nobody notices him.
No, he always gets hit in the fight, just like Rex, but he always makes it out because he's awesome. Until someone, but we'll get to that someone. We'll get to that someone soon. Actually, foreshadowing. Not this episode, but next thing I have is the bridge strike. How come Admiral Yularen is the only person that got hurt?
He's only a human.
Everyone else on the bridge is not human. I mean, is human, and they're all totally fine. But Yularen is like nearly fatally injured. I get why Anakin, even if it was like a devastating thing, I get why Anakin would be fine because he's the Force and stuff to protect himself. But why is Yularen? But no one else even like falls over, or they fall over and get right back up. But Yularen needs like bandages everywhere and goes to the sick bay and everything. I'm like, jeez.
Because his mind was just so fractured and offended by Ahsoka disobeying him. And Anakin, like, it would have hurt him, but he's like, crap, I got hurt a few weeks ago. I can't do that again. And on top of that, I'm so proud that she disobeyed me.
I like how they also yell, "It was a trap!" Also, why is Yularen fake sleeping whenever Ahsoka comes in? Is like, I'm so sorry, it's all my fault, they're all dead. And then she leaves and he's like...
I know he's happy about that.
I know. Isn't that was such a weird moment. I don't know what they were going for. I really do not know what... I don't know.
It's not even like it's not even like they're shown later to have like a fantastic relationship like her and Rex or something.
No, like, he comes back later and supports her, but like, it wasn't anything that big. It still could have been just fine if they hadn't had that weird thing where he like opens his eyes and yeah, it's just weird. Like literally, if you just cut out the last 2 seconds of that scene, wherever you see him like open his eyes and kind of smile, like that just would have been fine. But anyways, next thing is, I say mad about no plan ?
Oh, because Ahsoka was triggered?
Yeah. Meanwhile, she didn't have a plan before, but oh yeah, she's like, you don't have a plan? When does Anakin ever have a plan? He always comes up with the plan last second, but she's like, you don't even have a plan, and then she like freaks out. I'm like, he never, like, you of all people should know that. But anyways, and then I put she sucks today because God, she was such a Debbie Downer the entire episode.
Yeah, they really should have switched these episodes.
I agree. Canon should work differently. No, but no, seriously, like, these events take place, almost separate from each other. So honestly, you could switch them and it wouldn't make a difference. So I say that just in our head we switch it so that the character development we get her being crappy and get character development, and then we get like really good character. It seems like there's really good character
payoff. We get the payoff.
Yeah, we get the payoff later. So I wish it was switched. Next thing is I have Master. Does she? I had that on purpose. I think that's whenever she's complaining. She just went like, Master.
Oh, like 20 times.
Yeah,
does that. And then Anakin's just like, boom, you're in charge now.
Oh my God! And then, oh no, this is actually a moment I loved later. Whenever she's coming up with the plan on the bridge, and she's talking about like, yeah, well, but and they're like, yeah, we need He's like, no, we need more time. Like, we need a better plan. And she's like, we don't have more time. We this is our plan. We have to do it. And he's like, and then I think it was Rex who's like, yeah, normally we do normally pull off crazy plans with General Skywalker, like crazy plans. And the other clone's like, yeah, but normally we have General Skywalker. And then he stops mid-sentence, and he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, that just seemed like a real... like, that seemed like something that would actually happen to me. And then he's just like, I'm so sorry. Like, I meant no offense. And then she's like, no, it's okay. Like, I get it. Which, in all fairness, like, yeah, I'm with you, dude. Like, I don't think that... I understand why that would hurt her feelings, like, and you feel bad about it. But, like, still, that is a true statement. General Skywalker is one of the greatest heroes of the world. Ahsoka just failed her very first mission. So, I can understand that feeling. I still understand why I'd feel bad. Like, oh, shoot, I just called out the commander on...
I just bullied a 14-year-old.
Like, yeah, but still, like... I do like how he genuinely felt bad, but still, I was like, that's very, stuff. And then I like how once Yularen shows up and says, it'll work, the clone's like, it'll work, sir? And he goes, it'll work. And he's like, okay.
Okay,
why didn't he? I feel like clones should be competent enough to just decide on their own, will this plan work? And it's not
correct
like matters whether the 14-year-old or Yularen says it'll work. It's just like you
correct
can
me
look
if you're
at it.
correct me if I'm wrong. I think you told me about this. Somebody else uses this plan, right?
I think this is from Thrawn, I believe. I
Yeah.
believe that this, like, Thrawn used this first. I think this is a slight callback. Now in canon, that would essentially mean that Thrawn used this as a call. Thrawn used it because it happened in this battle.
Yeah, but he
But-
definitely does something like that.
But yeah, no, Thrawn used this move. I don't know if that's canon or not. I know it was in Legends.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
because
but
I remember you telling me about that.
But yeah, I know that he specifically. I want to say he actually did it in canon in the novel too. I don't remember that for sure though. But Thrawn at some point has used this move, whether it be in canon or Legends.
He's
so
just there like,
So
master.
that is just a neat little mod there. Next thing I have is the captain. The captain doesn't escape, does he? Because he's like, "Oh, I'll be back in a second," and leaves.
I don't know.
But the ship gets destroyed 2 seconds later, like literally, like less than 5 seconds later. So I feel like he's dead. But I actually remembered him, and I feel like this is a pretty uneventful episode that I didn't really remember much of. So why would I remember him if he dies? Like if he's literally there for about 2 minutes total screen time and dies? I don't know. But
What I was confused about was like he even said like how he greatly respected Anakin and everything, like that he like studied him and everything.
yeah.
Why did he think like his actual plan was like to surrender himself?
I don't know if he necessarily believed the surrender, but I don't think he thought he was going to commit suicide, which is essentially what it looked like he was doing then. He didn't realize that because Anakin was on board. But that but no, I'm
because at first I'm
understand
like,
why
why don't they immediately scan the ship? So I'm like, okay, maybe there's a range for him. There's definitely a range on like how you scan stuff.
Uh-huh.
But then I'm just thinking like no, I'd shoot them anyway. Screw it. Why would I let them surrender instead of just killing them? And
Well,
I don't let them deliver supplies.
He seems like an actual honorable guy, the captain.
Yeah, and how's that
So-
go for him?
I'm not arguing with that. I'm just saying that is the reason why he's definitely like he seems like he's honor bound. And then the next thing, I like how Ahsoka's making fun of the droids. They're like they're not attacking. Like what should we do? Should we pull out? It's like why would you pull out? You should just start attacking. Like it doesn't matter.
Never
Like,
pull out.
But I hate you. But then Ahsoka's just like, yeah, the battle droids are slow. They're just a little slow. I was just like, okay.
And he got all the battle droids together.
I know. I like how they're like, did the commander leave? I think he left. So are you in charge? No, you're in charge. No, I'm in charge. No, you're in charge. Okay, let's attack.
I just like the ones that he's like, I know I'm not in charge.
Yeah, it's like this is not my responsibility. And then the next thing is, earlier in the plan, they mentioned getting close enough to use a tractor beam on the escape pod to get Anakin. Yet at the very end, she sends a shuttle.
I like how she legitimately forgot about it too.
I just thought that was odd. That it was like, okay, the plan is we're gonna use a tractor beam, and then it gets to that point. She's like, actually, just send a shuttle. Like I just thought that was really weird. But anyways, that's that episode.
Yeah, triggered.
Next episode. Which is
Da-da-da!
possibly the best on this arc. Yeah, this is the best
But I
one.
feel like there's definitely the least to talk about in this episode.
Is there? I don't know. But this is episode 20, Innocence of Ryloth. The quote is, "The costs of war can never truly be accounted for."
Oh.
I would say that's honestly more applicable to the next episode than this one, because none of the locals die in this one. Like
I just figured it applied to the
like,
little girl.
Like literally not a single one. I mean, I guess kind of, but like the little girl's family's still alive. Actually, you know what? We only
No,
see
they're
her-
not. They're not.
Well, no, we see her dad at least.
Was that her dad? I thought that was just like the head of the village or something.
No, that was definitely her dad, because they both were like, "Hey, it's you," and he's like, "Yeah, it's you, yay!" That is definitely her
I
dad.
don't remember them saying that exactly.
No, they didn't. They didn't speak English, but he called her by name. And they were all excited. That was definitely her dad. But her mom wasn't there, so who knows?
Your mom.
But anyways, so quick overview. Basically, now that Anakin and Ahsoka have cleared the air, well, actually space, Obi-Wan is starting the ground assault, and they go in, and then basically, after, fighting for a little bit, they're like, yeah, we can't, the droids are using, the Twi'leks as not human shields, as Twi'lek shields. And
Aha.
so they can't, just go right ahead with the attack. They have to be careful. Wax and no Wax. Oh my god, it's Boyle and Waxer are sent out, and they go on a little mission and scouting mission, and they actually find a little girl. They eventually befriend her after some conflict between the two. Then giant fleas are unleashed on the clones. Obi-Wan calms down the giant fleas, and then they go attack the droids, and then the people rip the bad guy apart at the end. So yeah, that's that episode. First thing I have is Ruthless. I think that's the strategy of using the civilians, is my guess. Is why
What I didn't understand is why they weren't in any defensive position at all.
The droids, or
They had all the civilians just like piled in one spot.
it was all around the gun turrets.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
they
just
had
thought they'd
them,
have them like spaced out more.
no, they had them in the center of the gun turret area, which there's no way that the Republic could bomb those gun turrets without killing civilians, which they don't want to do. So, yeah. Which then I thought it was interesting how they said no rockets ever, but in the next episode they use lots of explosives because they're like, yeah, we don't want to blow up the Twi'lek's homes, but they're not fighting around houses the entire time. So I'm just like,
Okay,
why?
Obi-Wan uses the Force to whip grenades at droids to like disable them. Why does not every Jedi have grenades?
We that's not for a while. Slow your horses.
I thought that was early on.
That's not for a little bit.
I thought that's one of the first things that happens.
Nah. That's
I
still
thought they
not for a
take the
little
wall and then they figure out the hostage problem.
bit. No, but first they Wax and I think it's Waxer.
Yeah.
Yeah, who said no, or is it Boyle? Which one's the nice one? Now I'm getting confused.
Wax is the nice one.
Waxer's nice. So it's Boyle.
Boyle's just misunderstood.
Boyle's the one at the beginning. He's the one. He says, "I don't understand. If we're here to help him, why don't the tailheads get out of our way?" I'm like, okay,
You
I don't
racist.
like you don't just want to like. Why do you want to? Like, do you think they're being held prisoner on purpose, or are you just mad that you
Yes.
can't blow up their houses? And I'm like, do you really think they want their houses blown up?
Oh, Twi'leks are going to be very submissive, so maybe they do want to be held captive. We don't know.
No.
They never actually are asked what they want.
Shut up.
Beyond the fat one and the crazy one, nobody cares what they want.
Yeah, really. I see everyone gives Saw Gerrera crap, but I feel like Cham Syndulla is like more of a jerk. He's not. I wouldn't say okay. So I see why Saw Gerrera could be seen like as a terrorist, but like Cham's he's a jerk. Like he never I don't even think he has that good of intentions. Like people say he has good intentions for his people, but we'll get to that next episode. Next I have is that's right. Oh, I have tactical droids are smart. Why doesn't the Separatist army have a lot more tactical droids? Because it seems like tactical droids do a better job than anyone else.
I just always assume money.
I guess, but I don't know.
Did they even come in with guns, or did they just start punching people?
Wait, what?
Did they come in with? Oh, okay. No, I was thinking of different droids. My bad.
No, the tactical droids, the ones.
Yeah,
that
I was thinking of commando droids. My bad.
No, yeah, this episode
you're
and
good.
next episode, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, my bad.
But
Tactical droids? I don't know. They show up a lot in this one though. Which
yeah,
didn't
they
make
show up.
sense.
There's literally
Never
two.
show up.
I was gonna say there wasn't one in the first episode, but there's one in this episode, and there's one in the next episode. I'm like, why are there not more? Because they do a better job than literally any of the living generals most of the time. So just pointing that out there. But yeah, next thing I have bodies falling. Not sure. I think that's. Oh yeah, there's lots of bodies falling whenever they first land and they're fighting.
Oh
in the
yeah,
forest.
yeah.
There's lots of clones just falling down dead in front of the camera. I'm like, geez.
Yes, the wall. I'm telling you, they take the wall out early in the episode.
No, but yeah, that's still coming up.
I
The
thought that
clones, the
I
clones
thought
are
that's
dying first because they're all dying.
yeah
Then
yeah
Obi-Wan is
they
like,
land
"You two come with me." They
yeah
go, and then that's yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had all that stuff
yeah
beforehand.
that's really early in the episode I thought.
Yeah, but we're just getting there now.
Okay,
I had
my
like 5
bad.
notes first. Yeah, no, but this is what I'm saying is that I had stuff first. The next thing I have is Waxer and boil. Shoot, I can't read what this says. Something.
Oh,
Something
I
about
love
Waxer
that.
Boiler.
When they're deciding who scouts, they're like, pick your best men, and he's like Waxer and Boyle. Like, yeah, we're the best.
Yep. But yeah, I do have the before that though. What you were saying is, yeah, why do the clones throw the droid poppers and then Obi-Wan helps them? Why doesn't Obi-Wan ever just throw the droid poppers to begin with? Is it just to make the clones feel like they helped?
Yeah, I just feel like that'd be really convenient in like middle of a battle zone. Just like you have like a force wheel, just kind of like boom, 10 droid poppers out at once.
But no, it's like the clones keep them and they throw them, and then the Jedi just help them. And it's like, yeah, we just want to make the clones feel good, like they helped, you know? Like I don't
For
know.
Mandalore.
The next thing they mentioned is Ghost Company, which I like that name. But anyways, the next thing is, yeah, I love how he's like, Commander Cody, pick your best for the scouting mission. Waxer, Boyle, come on. I guess we're the best. I remembered that line actually as a kid. Like I think I watched like compilations of like funny clone moments, and that's always in them.
Roger,
so.
Roger.
But yeah, I certainly liked that. Next thing is, wow, that's really a ghost town whenever they're exploring and stuff.
Haha.
Also, I'm just curious, did you catch whether so whenever they go off, there's Cody with another clone, and there's Waxer and Boyle. Did you catch the other clone's name? His name was either Wooly or Wally. I don't
No,
know.
no. I remember this just because his name, like he has a normal name. I think his name's Willie.
Is it Willie? I really thought it was like Wooly or Wally.
I think it's Willie, and I was like laughing to myself. I'm like, what if there's there's definitely a clone out there. He's like, his name's Dave. Because like they all have like nicknames for each other, but
Yeah.
there has to be one with just like a normal name.
Dave. Steve.
Yeah, just like Dave, go out and take those droids.
Steve, watch your flank. But anyways, but yeah, I was curious what his name was. He's just a normal clone. He doesn't even have any markings. Next thing I have is there's a probe droid. I like probe droids. Then I like how the Separatists call out. They're like, Kenobi. He's known for lots of deceptive maneuvers, and I was like, what could they have in their files on him? And I'm like, thinking
Hello
of
there.
yeah, I'm thinking I'm thinking of the Clone Wars movie with General Loathsome. How he sits and has
yeah.
tea while his troops actually win the day. I'm like, yeah, I could see why they think that.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that, like the way they describe, like that is kind of weird, like how deceptive the Jedi are.
Obi-Wan in particular, though, he's a troll.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of messed up.
it's funny, especially with Kenobi. He's just sassy. But anyways,
He's just
no, seriously, Kenobi is super sassy throughout the Clone Wars. If you haven't noticed that yet, we will get into that. He is a sassy Jedi. Like, not even kidding. Like, he actually is. But what's the next thing I have? Oh, I like how the little Twi'lek bites Waxer. Which is funny. He's like, yeah, she's not armed. She's not dangerous. Oh my God, she bit me. And then she
and he
keeps...
just punches her in the face.
No. She keeps calling them Nira, and they don't ever say why. Or Nira.
Yes, they
Nira, I
do.
don't remember. Do they say why? Why?
Oh, wait! I'll tell you when we reach the end of the episode. I thought you'd have like a bunch of notes about that.
Wait, about why it's called Nira?
Yeah, why she calls them Nero. I'll tell you at the end of the episode because they say it.
I don't remember that. Wait, no, tell me now, because it...
I'll tell you at the end of the episode. Like,
Does it happen at the end of the episode?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what that is. Next thing I have is, yeah, Boyle's a grunt, which is just funny.
He's hard boiled. That's what I figured. Like that came from.
She's like, oh, she's starving. Let's give her food. And he's like, no.
Let's give her
who
a
cares?
stick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is a ration, but yeah.
Yeah.
Their food sucks. Then we go to the tactical droid testing out his theory on if the fleas will eat battle droids or not. by
Yeah.
feeding a battle droid to it, which it does not eat. And I like how the droid, as it's getting eaten, says, "Oh no, not my motivator!" Like
Yes.
if he had destroyed the motivator, that droid would just not have any motivation to do anything. Which
Could've
makes
just
me
blown up.
wonder if this is the droid that we see later, because I have a
Wait.
theory.
What?
We'll see. We'll get to it.
Oh, we each have something to share now. I like that.
Maybe that droid's motivator was destroyed. But we'll see. Next thing I have is he says we're not taking her with. I like how he's saying Boyle's like, what's gonna happen to her, like after we leave, like after the war's over, and Wax is like, don't get any ideas, we're not taking her with us, like we're not adopting her. Like I love that he has to say that. I just thought that was funny. It wasn't like we're not. It's not like, oh, we're not taking her back to base. It's like, no, we're not taking her home with us like everywhere we go. I'm like, I don't think that he thought that.
Take her to a war zone every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Ahsoka's 14.
Next thing I
Little girl's
have.
probably like 5.
Jeez. Next thing I have is I think bald clones are nicer. Just putting that out there. We have Boyle. We have Rex, and then the other one I'm thinking of is Gregor in Rebels, not in Clone Wars. I'm saying Clone Wars, he has a lot of hair.
Yeah,
all
I feel like
over
the
his
flat
head.
top ones are definitely terrible people.
So, well, not terrible people, but they're usually mean or
Yeah.
stricter. They're stricter. Like Cody, he's not a terrible person, but he's
Like,
definitely stricter.
Wolf was definitely messed up.
No, he wasn't.
I'm saying like Rebels.
Wait, did he's messed? How is he messed up?
Like when he tries turning them in, pretty much.
Does he do that? I forgot he did that actually.
Yeah, he does that when they first find them. He
Yeah,
calls
that's
them
right. Which is weird because he totally joins the rebellion later.
Yeah,
That is really weird.
with his beautiful mustache.
That seems really out of character. But anyways, I just remembered that. But hey, we'll get to that show eventually. We're actually getting there, believe it or not. But hold on, we have a little bit to go. I'll explain at the end. Next thing I have is I have. Wait, what's that? Oh, like he says, I have binders if we need them. Which, if you aren't aware, for the public, that means handcuffs. He literally was suggesting we handcuff the girl. I'm just like,
let's handcuff this little girl.
Just like, jeez, why you want to? You didn't even want to take her with you, and now you want to handcuff her so she doesn't run away? Like, jeez. And then I find it odd that the toy makes her cry whenever she's in the house. I'm guessing that's because her mom is dead. And that toy maybe reminds her of her mom or something. I don't know.
It's okay. Like the protagonist trope is like your family can never be whole. So she's gonna turn really awesome.
Wait, is Boyle the nice one or is Boyle the mean one? Because I have Boyle has an awkward hug and it was the mean one. Are you sure that Boyle?
No. Like Boyle comforts her when she cries, I think, and that's when she first hugs him. But she likes Waxer only at first. But then, like,
who is the mean clone, Boyle or Waxer?
Boyle was at first mean, but then Waxer's the one that tried to like reach out to her and he fed her. But then, like, when she's crying, Boyle comforts her.
No, Waxer comforts her first. No, it's Waxer.
No, like
Waxer
when she's crying with the toy.
Yeah, Waxer comforts her first. Then
and then
Boyle
says,
comes over.
I think Boyle says like, "Oh, it's gonna be okay, kid," and then she hugs him.
Then she hugs him too. She hugs Waxer first. But yeah, I like how awkward Boyle is when hugging her. I thought that was funny.
He's like, "I can't shoot this way."
Then the magic giant fleas show up, and of course there is a magic secret exit tunnel underneath the house because it's just how it is. That's always how it is. I find that trope to be getting pretty old. Just pointing that out there. I mean, the show is getting older now, but still.
No.
But yeah, I've had enough of that. Next thing I have, I love this quote from the tactical droid. Like, are you sure? I'm a droid. I'm always right. I'm just like, all right, bud. The next thing was very interesting. This is Kenobi and his force link to the fleas. This is something we are going to get very, very much more of, especially in the follow-up series to the Clone Wars, which is Rebels, if you are not aware. The main character of Rebels, Ezra, actually does this quite a bit. Obi-Wan's capable of doing it, but I think this is the only main time we see him doing it, like calming an animal, linking with them through the Force. Ezra does this all the time. Like, this is Ezra's thing, so I thought this was very interesting. This is literally like another thing where it's like, well, you can see the inspiration where they got that from Rebels, to where they take it even farther with the different characters, so just want to point that out. And then also I wanted to say, how many languages does Obi-Wan Kenobi speak? Because he is totally fluent speaking to the Twi'lek girl.
Yeah. See, what... It kind of annoyed me with the flea thing that he could do that, because, like, okay, if, like, they were just pissed off and, like, attacking them, it makes sense. But they were starved and dying. I didn't understand how he could calm them down like that.
It's like almost mind control. They've done that before with animals. Like, that's what Ezra can do, too. Where you essentially, like, control the animals. Like, you link with them and you're able to, like, talk with them and control them and stuff. Although I don't understand why he didn't, like, help them, like, point them in the direction.
That's
hey,
what I thought he was going to do, is, like, calm them down and give them food. That would have made more sense to me.
No, he trapped them, but... I mean, I don't think he really had much of an option. They needed to, continue on with the mission, so I get it. Plus, they're giant fleas, so who cares?
They could have rode them. They're faster than any walker.
I kind of wondered if they'd do that, but no, that's not... No, these are not blurgs. Greatest name ever. And the next thing... is this where my theory comes back in. The droid is saying, man, this is the worst job ever. And he's literally the janitor cleaning up the areas where the fleas were. And then, this is really weird. Obi-Wan and the clones, they toss him in the jail cell and lock him in there. They don't just kill him, like, they don't just destroy him. Like, literally, think of, when did they ever take a battle droid prisoner? But no. And then this battle droid's in there and he's just like, oh, like he has no motivator.
Dun dun dun. That's the second conspiracy theory Eric has come up with.
He didn't even bother fighting back because they just tossed him in there, and he's like, oh, because his motivator.
He didn't have to clean up. He didn't have to clean up after them anymore.
Because his motivator was destroyed. That's why he didn't fight back. But, anyways, that's my little conspiracy theory. I love how either Boyle shushes Waxer or Waxer shushes Boyle, and then the other shushes the girl whenever they're about to go out in the fight, so so the droids don't hear him and start shooting at him. And then the girl turns to no one and shushes, like she thinks it's something they're like doing for luck or something. Like they go like shh, shh, and then she just turns to no one and shushes. I was just like, oh, that was kind of cute. That was funny.
And then she dies.
No.
Oh.
Then I had the next thing. Why wasn't there a single droid watching the prisoners? Literally, all the prisoners were in the cave by the time they noticed. Like I said,
they wanted to be captive.
No, but why was there wasn't a single lookout? They were all fighting. It's like, why wasn't there a single person keeping watch on the prisoners? I'm just saying, it's a lot of people to just like, oh shoot, where did those 50 civilians we had huddled up in the center of this crater go? Like, how do you lose them? Even in a battle, there should be one person paying attention. But anyways, next thing I have is very convenient placement with the gunning turrets whenever Obi-Wan is shooting them down. He managed to take out 2 before they can get him because there's explosive rounds between them, which makes sense. But then he manages, after doing that, to turn and take out another entire gun turret who somehow couldn't turn to face him first. Although, in all fairness, I'm thinking about it, he was in the one in the back. Meanwhile, they were all in front of him. So he only had to turn a little bit to the left while they had to turn all the way around. So I think I actually just solved my own problem. But still,
you're welcome.
It was like, hey, he shot a lot of people before anyone had the chance to shoot him. But then the tank shoots him. The tactical droid is about to win the day. He's going to kill the little girl and the Jedi. Because yay for killing little girls and Jedis.
That's a quote right there. That's going on a shirt. Oh boy, here I go killing again.
He's about to do he's about to do it, and I don't understand why doesn't a clone just shoot the tactical droid, but that would be too easy. No.
I just want to throw this in here. I love when tactical droids laugh.
Yes, it's funny.
That's one of my favorite things.
And then all the civilians, because the tactical droid doesn't have time to react to them or anything, he's just saying, cannot compute, as all the civilians run up and just tear him apart. And I love how Obi-Wan tries to cover the little girl's eyes, and then she moves his hand anyways and watches. Which I'm like, on the one hand, it's just a robot. It's not a living thing. But at the same time, And it's pretty gruesome if you really just consider what they're doing. They're literally tearing him to pieces. Even if he's anything but a droid, that is, ooh, but he's not. He's
Oh,
and then the last thing I want to point out is that little girl, we're going to see her again later. Not in this show.
she's Jabba's slave.
No. She is
Aw.
one of Cham's freedom fighters in Rebels, actually. So, she pops up as an adult later and is considered one of actually Cham's greatest warriors. So there's that. But anyways, final episode of this arc.
Hey.
Oh yeah, what does it mean?
They say Nero means brother.
Oh, huh. That's interesting. When did they say that?
They say it when they're leaving.
Did Obi-Wan say that?
Yes.
I was gonna say that makes
because,
sense.
Waxer and Boyle, like, she keeps calling us that. What does it mean?
Oh, actually, you know what? That's funny. I don't remember that from watching it this time, but now you mention that, I remember that from this episode before. Like, not even, I didn't catch that while watching it this time.
In the prequels, yeah.
I remember literally watching that, like, as a kid and noticing that, like, whenever they asked that. But, yeah, so, final episode, 21, final part of the Ryloth arc. Liberty on Ryloth. The quote for this one is, "Compromise is a virtue to be cultivated, not a weakness to be exploited." So, we have that. Which is, yeah, that's pretty applicable to this episode because of Cham and Ornfree. So, quick overview. Mace Windu needs to take the capital. He decides, man, my people keep dying. I really need more people. Let's go to the other people who are trying to, stop the droids too. And then they don't want to help him, so he has to convince them, like, hey, you know how you're, like, killing the droids? Can you help me do that so, like, we can free your planet? And he's like, why should I do that? Which is a really terrible thing, considering the previous episode we have Shaman in canon. But, I digress. He eventually decides on peace with Ornfree, and then, yeah, they go through and they capture the city, and yay. But anyways, let's break this down. So, first off, did you notice the force power that Mace Windu used at the very beginning? To free the ATTE driver?
Well, like force push?
No, he doesn't use force push. Because he doesn't push the glass. He just puts his hand on the glass.
Oh, yeah, that was so cool.
And watches, and it slowly cracks, which is actually
I
know,
cool.
I really like that. That was really cool.
I'm like, what if I did that to a person?
Oh gosh, that's terrifying. Next thing is Commander Pawns. Oh, which I didn't mention this for Waxer and Boyle, is that those two will pop up again, and it made me sad thinking how much I like them in this episode, because I don't know if it's the very next time they pop up again or if they have a time in between, but it doesn't go so well. Speaking of clones popping up and not going so well, Pawns. This is our first introduction to Commander Pawns, who I liked, and yeah. It's not going to go too well for him in the future. Just putting that out there. Don't get too attached to Pawns. Not that he's not one of the clones that really stands out, which I would say Waxer and Boyle do, but he doesn't do anything in particular. He's just a cool clone commander, but don't get attached to him at all, because that's not going to go well. But anyways, it's not for a while. Next thing is Lightning Squadron, because, hey, we have cool clone squadron names. Lightning Squadron's awesome. They have the little walkers. It's awesome. Next thing is, I like how the battle droids are like, huh, should we run away? They're getting really close. They're like, no.
Okay.
Like, what about now? And he's like, if we surrender, what's he say? He's like,
should we surrender?
He said, like, I think he said it would be easier if we surrender or something like that, or like best. And they just get shot down immediately before they can even ask to surrender, and I'm just like,
okay.
Huh.
This part kind of annoyed me. Because I'm like, all right, it's a war zone. They're battle droids.
Mm-hmm.
They're shooting at them on a cliff. That makes sense. They're pinned down in there. Their tactical position is on a slightly inclined plane with no cover whatsoever. Now, they do have the high ground, which does help a lot. But, like, it didn't make any, like, strategic sense in my head.
I think it's because they were guarding the path was the main reason. They weren't allowing them to continue on their way to the capital. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, that's why they were there. It was like that was literally where they had to be, because there was a giant path, which Mace Windu also declared because they
I just figured they'd have, like, a fort built or something.
Well, they did have a tiny little command center drop, but I mean, when you have tanks, do you really need a fort when you have tanks? Because
Yes.
do you though?
Do you need slaves and captives to guard your tanks?
Well,
No, but it's appreciated.
Well, yeah. Oh gosh, we're gonna get to worse parts with. I didn't even mention that in the episode recap. But next thing I have, let's see. Mine says, why hate Syndulla? Oh yeah, why does Orn-Free Taa hate Syndulla so much? I get why Syndulla hates Orn-Free Taa, because he's living the good life on Coruscant and is super fat because he's just being lazy and eating all the time. Meanwhile, people are literally starving and stuff. I'm like, that is terrible. They have like a morbidly obese senator while their entire population is starving. I'm like, that is just... God, that's sick. But anyways, I feel like that accurately represents the Senate, though. I'm just saying. But why does he hate Cham Syndulla so much? I think it's because he's jealous that people like Cham.
It's just because they're rivals. Like, he says that.
Yeah, but like, why does he hate him now? He's freeing his freaking planet. Like, I get why Cham hates Orn-Free Taa, but why does Orn-Free Taa hate Cham right now? Like, there's no reason he should hate him that much, because he's like, oh, he wants power back. He's saving your planet. In all honesty, he probably deserves power more than you, and I don't like Cham, so there's that. Just point that out.
Oh, believe me, Eric, it is well established how you feel about him.
Gosh, I really do not like him. We'll get to why even soon, but next thing I have is, I like how the droids actually, like, fill in a slight, like, plot point that, like, what would be a plot hole if they didn't mention it. Just casually, they're like, hey, look at that battle droid. He's one of the old ones that has to be hooked up to the command center, like how they worked in Phantom Menace. But basically, that's explaining why none of the battle droids need to be hooked up to a command center anymore, is because the newer models just don't. Which I like how they just mentioned in passing conversation, which the viewer actually, like, you know, needs to know, because that could be considered a plot point if they never explain it. It's just like, how come they couldn't function without a command ship before, but they blew up the command ship in the episode before this, and the battle droids are all fine? So I liked how they did mention that. Like, there's that one key little continuity thing. It's like, good job, good job.
How do they differentiate each other?
The battle droids? That's a really good question. I'm guessing they have really minor differences, and because the droids, like, literally scan, they could tell. Maybe they could just scan the insides, and that's how they know, but I don't know.
I don't know, he just, like, picks up the head. He's like, oh, this is P-35-1.
Yeah, I'm guessing they can scan the insides or something like that. But I have no idea. Next thing.
I feel like this episode is just dedicated, like, okay, guys, like, we're finally allowed to use Mace Windu. Let's make him really awesome.
Uh-huh. Oh, I like how Dooku explicitly says to Wat Tambor, like, Mace Windu's on his way. Like, you need to leave. Like, you don't have a chance. Like, Dooku would normally be like, you know, like, oh yeah, we need to get you out of there, but we still need to win this battle. Like, no, he's like, no, you don't have a chance. Like, you are going to lose. You need to leave now. It's Mace Windu. I'm just like, yeah, Mace Windu's the best. Mace Windu's awesome. Even Count Dooku knows that. And then yeah, I have Mace Windu and his purple lightsaber is just the best. And then, oh my gosh, I hate
Is it Cham Syndulla?
Cham Syndulla, how he acts in this.
Cham Syndulla.
Because Mace Windu is like, hey, I need your help. And then Cham, being such a jerk, is just like,
oh, Eric,
why would I help you? Like, he's like, why would I help you? Do you remember the episode in the
yeah, I do find it weird that they didn't call back to that at all.
Now, okay, the real reason they don't call back to that is because that episode aired later.
Yeah, I feel like they should drop something.
So they should have known that was going to happen. But that is part of season 2. This is part of season 1. So really, the episode we watched first comes much later. So they might not have known that it's exactly how it's going to go now. But still, that is how the canon is. And in all honesty, Cham's kind of just a jerk anyways. But this makes him look like a soulless piece of crap. Because seriously, the clones and Master Dai all just got slaughtered just so he could get some supplies. And then he's like, why would I help you? To take back your own world. It's what you're trying to do anyways. It's basically them offering to help you. Like,
yeah, it's like very basic thing. Enemy of my enemy.
Yeah, so I honestly, and like, but so just in general, it's like, yeah, I don't understand why you're arguing. But then you have the context of the fact that a Jedi and his entire battalion of clones died to get you your supplies, which you were being a jerk to him to begin with. And he's like, you know what? No, you're right. The Republic needs to send you the supplies. I'm going to literally send myself and my troops to die just so you have a chance to get out of here.
I'm a
Honestly,
Gundai.
I wish that I'm a Gundai, which is actually that Jedi's name. I wish that he and the clones would have just left Cham to die. And
But
then
then
we
we wouldn't
wouldn't.
have had Hera.
Hera could already been born. There you go. Hera could already be born at this point. She could be a baby that we just don't see. We don't know. Actually,
I
the
do.
chances are she is a baby because
That
it
is
said
weird
that
that they
she's a
don't
kid
mention
during
his
the Clone
family at
Wars.
all.
That's because honestly, they had no idea that that his family was going to be relevant later. So I think they were just focused on him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but I feel like that would have been like the one thing that would have made him less of a prick.
Yeah, but I don't think they were concerned of making him more likable. I don't think that Sham is meant to be a super likable character. He's always been kind of a jerk, and is always meant to be later. So it points out that hey, there's good guys and crappy guys on every side. So there's
There's
that.
fat
But
dudes, fat blue dudes,
guys that just don't like him.
tailheads.
Yeah. Then what's the next thing I have? Blurgs. I love that the things they called are that they ride are called blurgs. That's awesome.
And they take such pride in them.
I know. Then we get to see the Vulture bombers, which are on their way. Which, if you aren't aware, they are not regular Vulture droids. They're much fatter and have bombs.
What?
Yeah, they're different. They're an entirely different shape. Actually, if you didn't know that.
Bombers have bombs.
Yeah, and they have bombs. So that's that. And oh my gosh, this is dark. This is like what they.
Oh yeah.
That's terrible. They literally just go and bomb civilians in front of them, and that's why you get to see Commander Pons. He's like, "Oh gosh, we're gonna get bombed," and they're all like, "Oh no, we're totally fine." Oh God, they bombed the village. And
What have I done?
And they're just like, "Oh gosh." They're at least like, "Oh God, tell Mace Windu." Mace Windu tells Cham Syndulla, and then Sham's like all sad. It's like, guess what? A couple of villagers probably would be alive, by the end of this episode if you had actually just helped them earlier instead of arguing and stuff. They would have had less time to bomb more villages because they went around bombing villages the entire time until the very end when the last of them get destroyed by Anakin. So, just pointing that out, Cham, you suck. Next thing I have is, oh, I thought it was interesting how he says, "How long is it before I'm fighting you?" And he's talking about the possibility of a Republic takeover, which I'm like, well, actually, only a couple of years. Not till you're fighting Mace Windu, but till you're fighting what the Republic is, because they'll turn in the Empire. So, actually, he has a valid point there, even though I don't like him. And then the next thing is, why is Senator Ornfree Taw necessary at all for Mace to get the help of Cham? Like,
Oh.
why does he need to be involved in that? He's a senator. What does he have to do with the battle strat? Like, I don't understand. Like, they didn't need to make peace with him or anything. Like, I don't know. I don't understand how he was necessary at all, other than to show, like, hey, we need to put aside our differences as like a moral lesson. Even though both of them just kind of suck, especially Warren Freetaw. I'm just saying that he is literally a super obese dude, living super comfortably on a planet far away, who's like, yo, I'm just as sad as you, who's like, they're actually fighting every single day, and like, they're my people too, but, I just don't feel struggle or anything. But hey, this sucks, and my people are, they're in trouble, while I'm super comfortable. Meanwhile, he's still considered himself better than Cham, which, again, I hate Cham, but Ornfree Taw has no relevance here. Just putting that out there. Next thing is, I like how the droids just hear an alarm to go back to the base whenever the bridge is gonna shut off, and they don't like send out a radio signal or anything, like call in, like, oh hey, like over the comlinks, like, oh by the way, we're gonna shut off the bridge, so you should come back. They just set off an alarm, which one happens to not hear, which of course is just to show that hey, they need that bridge on, otherwise they're screwed, because it's gonna show a cool action sequence later. But then that one droid just plummets to his doom, which is actually kind of funny.
I'd like to take a moment just to talk about this bridge.
Yes.
Okay, having one way in and one way out. That is very convenient in very few situations. In like a normal functioning city, that is a terrible idea.
It's a well-fortified capital. I don't know how often they're at war, but that
Yeah,
place has like an entire like almost moat. But it's not a moat. It's like a giant,
and
cliffs and
like the,
stuff.
the
But
the plasma bridge. Why is more of that technology not used?
I'm guessing because they're not that rich of a planet.
I'm
Is my
just saying,
guess.
like in
But
the Clone Wars or something. Like, imagine using that in like convenient situations.
that would also suck because then you'd have to deal with it being turned off all the time like they do. I'm glad that it's not used more often. I'm just saying because
I just want to know how it works. Like, oh yeah, we just got this plasma that goes out, and boom, solid object.
I mean it's like literally any force field they ever use, like a shield. It's just like that. Like literally, they use the shields all the time that like go over top of them. It's literally just like that. It's just in a rectangle. So yeah. Uh, Next thing I have is the scanners that the droids use are weird. Why don't they just use scanners like built into a building
Yeah,
or
I didn't,
something like
I
that?
didn't get what that was supposed to do.
That was
Was
just
that detect
odd.
life? Because they said an anomaly.
Anomaly, yeah. I'm guessing it's to detect life because there was just objects and droids in there. So I'm guessing it's life, but I don't know why they said anomalies. I'm guessing maybe it detected weapons too. Would be my guess. Maybe it detected weapons and not living things, and so it detected like the lightsaber or their guns. I don't know, but either way, the alarm goes off, and then we get. I love I love how one of the droids goes, "Oh no!" whenever they see Mace Windu. It's not like, "Oh no, it's a Jedi." He's just like, "Oh no!" like really panicking and dies
Open
immediately.
fire.
And then another droid is like, "You have the right to remain," and then he just totally gets killed before he can finish saying, "You have the right to remain silent." And then this is awesome. What does Mace do when the bridge is getting shut off? No, it's not jump to safety. It's push his clone troopers to safety and fall. Which I'm just saying,
Yes,
yes,
to his death.
Mace is awesome.
He's always destined to fall.
And then but Jedi can survive great falls. Just putting that out there. But then he's hopping around, does cool stuff, and gets out just fine because he's awesome. He goes along with the clones, and yeah, again, this episode, the only really good part about it is that it just showcases that yeah, Mace Windu's pretty awesome. He keeps going. Next thing I have is the blurgs. Like they all do the charge down to the bridge because they're about to get the bridge activated. The blurgs are so cute when they're running. It's just like, oh, look at that! Look at those little guys! Like they're so adorable. They're really like ferocious little beings, but like it's just like, oh, they're so cute running. Just want to put that out there. Next thing is I like how the droids, whenever the clones walk in, they're shooting them to take over the bridge. The droids say, "You're not authorized." They're clone. It's not like they're droids and it's like from the Republic and it's like like you know what I mean, like where it's like not even like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
battle droid, but like another droid where it's like, hey, you're not authorized. Or it's like maybe you're like no, that's clearly your enemy. That would be like the okay. So imagine like in World War II, one of the Allied powers has a base, and two people with like swastikas all over them just walk in and they're like, hey, you're not authorized, and don't point guns at them or anything. They're just like, hey, you're not authorized to be in here. Meanwhile, the people with swastikas are holding guns at them and then shooting them. It's like, really? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how obvious it is. And still, they don't have guns and they're not shooting anything. They're just saying, hey, you're not authorized. It's not like, oh gosh, we're gonna die. It's you're not authorized, which I just weird. But you know what's awesome?
What?
What you mentioned.
Commando droids.
Yeah.
Just coming and punching people in the face.
I don't know why they don't have their guns or vibro swords, but hey, I'm not gonna complain when commando droids come in and punch them in the face. Also, did we get to see how they beat the commando droids?
I think they just shoot them.
I don't think he shot the commando droid, but it got him off him for a second. But then he doesn't kill that one.
I think that they kill one pretty easily, and then they just kind of overpower the other one.
He runs over and punches. I think it cuts away to Mace Windu before we see them finish the fight.
I don't know.
Those two clone troopers could actually be dead because commando droids are like the best, but I hope not because I really like those ARF troopers. If you aren't aware, that's what those troopers are called with those helmets that walk on they go in the walkers. Those are called ARF troopers. I think they're advanced recon. Is it? It's not fight troopers. I don't know what the F stands for, but I think it's advanced recon
Lord
something.
troopers.
Advanced recon. It might be foot troopers. I don't know though. But
Lord troopers.
but yeah, commando droids are awesome. Then this was a little weird. Wat Tambor was just ready to die. It wasn't like, oh no, they're gonna bomb and kill me. He's like, no, it's okay. We're all gonna die for the glory of the Separatists.
Yeah, he became like really patriotic there.
And I
At
was
the
like,
last
that's
second.
weird. That's really out of character for a selfish, greedy Separatist. Like that was really odd. And then it goes away because he's just like, what are your? He's like, oh, I surrender. What are your terms? Unconditional. Okay, sounds fair. It's like, all right. Sounds good. And then, yeah, I just have, again, Senator Onfree Taw is super fat. Just pointing that out. Overall, I gotta say, I really liked Mace Windu in this episode, but easily the best episode out of this 3-episode arc is the middle one, Innocence of Ryloth, with because of Waxer and Boyle. And it, again, just makes me so sad thinking of what's going to happen to at least one of them, I believe.
All right, and what's the next? What's the next thing we gotta watch?
Oh yeah, so this is the exciting part. The next arc that we are going to be doing. So the arc we're going to be doing next week. So make sure you turn in next week for the next Holocron Herald.
Okay.
This is where things start to get good, like real good. This is Cad Bane's introduction arc. We
that's what he sounds like when he breathes.
No, we get Cad Bane next week, and man, I'm excited. It also, I believe, is the last main arc of Season 1. We'll be moving on to... Now, again, we're watching in chronological order, so it's all out of order, but we're pretty much done with Season 1 now. So we're a season through. We've watched a couple episodes of other seasons, and we may have an episode or two of Season 1 left, but pretty much we're done with Season 1 now. And yes, once we finish the Cad Bane arc, because that is the finish... Or is it at the beginning of Season 2? I can't remember. Now I need to double-check real quick, because I am actually... doubting myself in terms of whether or not that is. I think that's the. Is that the Season 1 finale? Yeah, this wasn't the Season 1 finale. I don't think so. No, actually, no, I was wrong. So this was the end of. Was this the finale? That was the finale? That's a weird finale. The other season finales are really good, unless maybe I'm missing. Oh, no. Okay, so here's the thing. The next episode, not in chronological order, like Season 1, Episode 22, is a Cad Bane episode. So Cad Bane will get introduced next, no matter whether we were going chronological or the order they are released in seasons. But since we're doing chronological, it's different Cad Bane episodes, and this will be 3 Cad Bane episodes. It will be... let me see. It is Holocron Heist, Cargo of Doom, and Children of the Force.
I'm gonna love this so much.
Yep. So, I'm excited for that. I'm also a bit confused on how we're going to do the episodes after that, but we'll get to that. We might actually have to do a 4-episode of Holocron Herald because of how it works out. It's a bit weird, which is a lot, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, Cad Bane is next week, and I'm looking forward to him because this is some really good stuff from him. Like, really good. And Cad Bane is where Clone Wars really starts to amp up. Again, it gets even better as it goes on. Cad Bane, I feel like, is a major turning point where it's like, it's been good, but Cad Bane shows up, it gets great. Cad Bane is magnificent. He
comes around shooting people, wielding lightsabers,
he's
flamethrowers, jetpacks, everything. Whips.
Even uses a lightsaber in an episode, not in one of the episodes we're going to watch this week, but he will in the Clone Wars. But yeah, so we have that, and that's about it for this. I'm like looking at all this stuff, and yeah, it's starting to amp up. There's a couple episodes in between, but then we're gonna hit the second battle of Geonosis after a little while, which we have the Zillo Beast and a couple spin-off episodes in between. So we have the whole second battle of Geonosis arc. Then we have Grievous Intrigue, which I like that one. Then we have the Deserter. And then after a little bit, we get into Mandalore, which is awesome. So yeah, that's about it for this episode overall. You can check out all of our other podcasts at Nerdy Geek Talk on any of your favorite podcast places. Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, all that good stuff. And also YouTube, Nerdy Geek Talk. You can subscribe there if you like. Which, if you are listening to us there, definitely give this video a like if you are. Although, in all honesty, I don't think anyone listens to this one on YouTube. I think that we get the most. We think we get a bunch of downloads on the podcast stuff. When the last time I checked, but I think this one is not
Yay.
popular on YouTube. But
Oh,
we definitely have it on the podcast.
sorry I'm not entertaining enough.
Nope, you're just not. You're just the worst, Luke. But but yeah, that's about it. So you can also follow us at Nerdy Geek Talk on Twitter. Individually, you can find me at Eric Crowbar on Twitter. And Luke, where can people find you on the tweeters?
Tweeter. You can find me at Darth_Sand66, where I have to go do math for it to figure out Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Yes, so yeah, that's about it. And get excited because next week is Cad Bane, and that is a big deal for the Clone Wars. So, yeah, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.